That's what they telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what they telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where is she? Where is she? She's telling me to come forward, come for me. See, I don't know why I finally now I just spoke my mind. I know it's long since we spoke sometime, but this thing no play, I go change your mind. Just give me some time, baby, please. Cause I don't have no time to waste. No more back and forth, just like Aaliyah. That's all I wanna do right now. Grab it up. So you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend over the reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. Well, when me gonna grab it up. So you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend over the reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. Well, she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where is she? Where is she? She's telling me to come forward, come for me.
That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system. Since Buvak left, you don't want to change from the 4-3.
What's going on, people? We're back again on the Jerry James Show. Big up to everyone in the building. Massive thank you to everyone that tuned in yesterday for our preview. It's just going to be me today, but there's something that I needed to talk about. Something that's been on my mind. I think it's been on a lot of fans' minds in regards to obviously the main man himself, the big man, the Egyptian king, Mohamed Salah. And look, before any of you guys try to attack me, say that, I'm trying to make an scapegoat. No, not at all. What I'm actually going to try to do is try to reason with you guys and try to figure out what's going on. Is Salah the problem? Is there more to it? Is it the system? Is it the tactics? Is it the formation? Whatever it is, people, we need to get down to the bottom of it. And I want to have a bit of a better understanding after kind of reasoning with you guys, along with all the research that I've done today. So look, big up to everyone. Make sure, as always, as we come in, your ticket to entry, you're smashing a like. That hasn't changed. That hasn't changed at all. Just because G ain't here, you guys still got to smash the likes and stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and check what the people are saying in the building. We've got Cash H already saying, look, Salah scapegoating. Big up to Cash. No, not at all. Not at all. I think once you understand what I'm trying to say, you'll be good with it. You'll be good. Oscar saying, big up everyone. Big up, big up. We got Trudon saying no Elliot in the Champions League squad. I believe that's because he's under 21, if I believe under 29, 20. So it's one of those ones. Stephen the Truth Seeker 2, big up to yourself, saying Salah has taken the jab. You can see it's aged him. We'll see. Revenite saying Joe from the block in the cut again. Big up to Revenite. Hope you're doing well. Motain Arthur is saying Amapiano is going global. Of course it's going global. We've got James Doherty saying, Stephen, I think about the jabs have done people a lot of harm. Yeah, maybe so. We got Kevin Ritchie in the building saying, big up JJ, even as a rival, love tuning in. Big up Kevin Ritchie, man. Big up to yourself. We got Frazzle saying Klopp moaned today about Chelsea spending. The guy should just spend himself. If only it were that easy. If only it were that easy. But look, hold on. Let's just change the banner there because it's saying we'll be live shortly. But we are live, isn't it? So let's get into it, man. I think a lot of people, I wanted to speak at this, especially because of the press conference. I think Klopp coming out and talking about Salah and Salah struggling. And I was like, you know what? Let's delve into that a bit deeper. Let's do that together, right? So everyone knows, people, like when Salah signed this contract in the summer, you know what I mean? Salah, sign the thing. Are you staying? Are you going? What's going on? If Salah don't sign the contract, we're going to have to sell him. If not, we run the risk of letting him run down his contract and essentially leaving on a free, which would have been this summer. We couldn't have had that. Look, he was going through a poor spell at that time, albeit coming back from the AFCON. But that first half of the season was arguably on par, if not better, some people would argue, than his first season at Liverpool. I mean, ridiculous. I mean, the goals against, obviously, Man City or Watford, they're just to obviously name a few as well. He was in an outstanding form going into AFCON. And at that point, there was a debate. Is Salah now entering the conversation of best players on the planet? And I know in a general sense, yes, he is, but we're talking about that kind of elite 1, 2, and 3. And for a lot of people, he was. And I'm going to be honest. At the time, I was like, yeah, 100%. Since the AFCON, it's just been, it's not been the same Salah. It hasn't been. Now, at the time, there was a debate. There was a debate from a lot of fans as to why that was. Was it because he might have been, personally affected by the fact that, being knocked out of the AFCON and then being knocked out by Mane again, obviously from the AFCON final, but then being knocked out subsequently by Mane for the World Cup qualification, that probably did a lot of damage mentally, as it would to anyone. Like you can't begrudge anyone that, especially when you're someone as committed and as professional as Salah has been, and dedicated, especially to his nation. So that had a massive effect. Summer comes, he signs the contract, and we're now expecting him, to get 350. I mean, you're 350 grand. Whether anyone wanted him to sign or not, regardless, he got the deal deservedly because of what he had done seasons gone past. We're talking about a record breaker, legend for Liverpool, murals, statues that will probably be, will emerge from the depths of the AXA and in Melwood in the future. But we're looking at a player that since has struggled. And if we just look at some of the stats, people, right? So look, this season we all know. This is the funny thing about Salah, is because we're talking about a player that when you he's in the mean of what kind of wingers and forwards are doing at the moment. He's not doing better than them. He's not doing worse in terms of performance, but he's in the mean. But is that the Salah that we went and signed? And that's the question I want to go and pose. I mean, you're looking this season in all competitions. He's played 30 games this season in all competitions for Liverpool. We've got 17 goals and 7 assists. Now, that return doesn't seem that bad at all, does it? It doesn't. I think everyone would argue, everyone in the comments is going to be like, look, we wouldn't say that at all. You look at the goals, though, from last season. Yes, and that's obviously, and he had a poor, I think it was 5 non-penalty goals after AFCON towards the end of the season, which is obviously crazy. So stats really kind of could have been higher. But look, he ended up with 31 goals and 16 assists in 51 games. That's a ridiculous stat for someone that some people like to say plays out wide. And we all know he's an inverted forward, so I'm not going to use that kind of analysis. But you get the gist. This is a player that's he's top. But I want to kind of put to you kind of the arguments as to why Salah might have had this drop off. I'm then going to obviously give the cons. There are going to be pros and cons, and I want you guys to kind of debate with me when I go through the comments. So please make sure we're smashing the comments, we're smashing the likes, and subscribing if you're new as well. Look, we're talking about let's start on the contract situation, people. Now, there is this, I won't say a myth, but there is this kind of analysis put forward by a lot of fans saying that, look, once you get that big boy money contract, you falter. You start to dip. Your enthusiasm for the game, your hunger, your desire goes. It just goes down the bin. There's a lot of players that have suffered that. The likes of Ozil, Aubameyang, Sanchez, when he moved to United, got that mega deal. It hasn't really worked out. Hasn't. We're looking at Salah now, and some people would argue that's the same thing. Maybe he hasn't got that hunger. Maybe he hasn't got that fight. I don't know where I put myself in that bracket. What I would argue is, with the money spent on him, I think that within the team anyway elevated him above everyone else and made it clear and put it down on paper. When he was earning what he was earning, even if he was earning more because of the kind of bonuses and stuff attributed to his old contract, he wasn't guaranteed a 350k a week wage, was he? So when he's looking to his left and he's got Salah, when he's looking to his right, he's got Mane. Virgil, and he's looking to his right, he's got Mane. He's looking around, he's got Alisson. In front of him in the changing room. They're all on similar kind of wage packets, at least basic pay anyway. So they all feel on a level with them. When you get that bumper contract, you become the main man. You do become the main man. What's happened since then is we haven't seen main man performances. And I've spoken about this a lot of the times, is for anyone that watches basketball, you understand the reason why a LeBron is because of his performances. I am the number one, I'm the top dog, but I'm going to prove it every single game. We look at Gerrard, people, and that's someone that's really close to home. We knew he was the main dog. And yeah, he was earning more than everyone else at the club. Understandably why. Our team was dreadful. But not only that, look how we dragged our teams. When we were in despair, we were in positions like this. It was Gerrard that was saving our bacon from midfield. And I feel like with this contract, it does put a lot of pressure on you now because you have to deliver. And since we have not seen Salah deliver to that level, and what I mean by that is, yes, he's still getting goals, still getting assists, but all-round performance. Is he going and picking up the ball and playing that crucial assist for someone to go and score? And yes, there's the argument. We're not firing on all cylinders. The midfield is dreadful. The attack is dreadful. Gerrard was in similar situations where he was defending for his life, scoring screamers, enabling us to get a point away at Fulham because he scored a screamer. And that's what I'm expecting from Salah right now. And look, that is an argument. Look, another argument we've got as well is going back to the AFCON, people. Did that AFCON do more damage than we actually realize and understand? Because what we saw is, on the flip side, with his African counterpart, Mane at the time, Mane was in poor form. Probably 12, 18 months. I don't know. What are people thinking? But we're talking about a 12 to 18-month period where Mane was just not the same Mane. Wasn't as electric, couldn't get past his man. Albeit he kept trying, never hid from the ball, was all over the pitch. But it just wasn't clicking. Goes over to the AFCON, wins that. Has a great performance in the AFCON, wins it, comes back, plays a new position, but he's got a new lease of life now. I mean, that form could also be attributed to the signing of Diaz. It could have been. But when there's news that's been revealed stating that, you know what, Mane wanted to leave that season before, Klopp's told him to stay. They went and obviously pushed for the Diaz deal earlier because they knew Tottenham were like sniffing around. It suggests to me it wasn't that. It was the AFCON, and that had a massive effect on Mane. Now, look, he's been injured for Bayern Munich, but he started decent. And I know some people are saying, look, we're not getting that type of player and it might not be working out. He hasn't been poor, though. He hasn't been poor. He's been injured, right? And he's getting older as well. But we saw the effect that had on Mane. Mane was our best player, influential, linked up the play. He looked like he was getting back to his best. A lot of fans were actually arguing, you know what? We need to try and keep him. We need to keep Mane. The AFCON, maybe, look, that was an issue. Maybe it's affected him and maybe he won't recover. We've seen it with a lot of sports personalities. When you go and something like that happens and you lose in that dramatic fashion, you might not ever be able to recover. We saw it with, and yes, it was Gerrard and it was the last season, right? But when he made that slip, Gerrard just wasn't the same. He wasn't the same. And yes, he came the season after and he was there. It just wasn't the same. And you have injuries and you lack that kind of burning desire. So look, we've seen it with managers. We look and the next one, people, is age. Are we looking at a Salah that's aging? Have the club made the wrong decision in kind of investing their funds into protecting an asset that is declining? That's not going to be worth more in the future in terms of monetary value, but are we going to be able to maximize performance out of him? especially in this current climate with the way the team's operating, the direction the club and Klopp have wanted to go down by purchasing Diaz, purchasing Nunes, getting a Thiago in. Because Salah's performances haven't been at their best with these players in the team. It's been without these players. Who knows? Who knows? It's an interesting kind of conversation to have. One thing I'd want to talk about as well, before I get into the comments and we speak about the kind of the pros and we chop it up, is Mane, people. Now, I want people to get what I'm saying. I'm not saying Mane should have stayed, because I'm of the belief that, look, you've got to keep reinventing and reinvigorating the team. You've got to make sure you're building on this team. You're not staying stagnant. You're not being too loyal, as some people have criticized Klopp for being, right? But Mane, and if people please just watch some of these games back. Mane's role in the team was so crucial. And what I mean by that is a lot of people give Bobby the flowers for, pressing, winning the ball back, dropping in deep. It was a kind of a new position, that kind of false nine, not a new position, but we made it fashionable again to talk about a false nine. We don't need a striker. We've got Bobby playing in the false nine. We made that fashionable in the Premier League and in and around Europe, right? But what Mane did was nothing short of, I personally feel, was more vital than what Bobby was doing. Mane, not only did he start the presses and it was the press trigger, he won the ball back, scored goals, got assists, but more crucially, he linked the midfield in the attack at times when Bobby couldn't do it because Bobby's being marked out of the game. Look at how often Mane would drop deep, do a 1-2 with Fabinho, do a 1-2 with Henderson, get the ball, spread it out wide to Salah, and then have legs to get back into the box, defend for his life in the box as well. The arguments there, we always spoke about how vital Mane was defensively. And we always saw it in the biggest games, in the 2 Champions League final games. Mane was incredible. Mane was incredible. Look at against Real Madrid in the first leg. Salah, albeit, yes, got injured. Mane was incredible in that game. And then again, incredible against Real Madrid when we lost last season. That type of player, and it's not about Mane, it's that type of player. We're missing that player a lot. And I would argue that player is more vital than goals and assists. Now, hear me out, people. I'm not discrediting what Salah's saying at all. As I've just spoken about, ridiculous goals. And look, the contract well deserved. But what Liverpool have seemed to have done is it's 2 players, actually. 2 players that have been vital to the team working and functioning as a whole. We've got rid of and we haven't replaced Gini Wijnaldum. It's not about Gini Wijnaldum, the player. It's the role. We haven't replaced that. We tried to do it with Thiago. It hasn't worked out, in my opinion. With Mane, we've tried to go and replace him with Nunes, with Diaz, with Gakpo now. It isn't working. He was that link. And the fact that the club haven't rectified that and have put their money into Salah, maybe that's where the issue is. Maybe we've looked at Salah and not overrated him, but maybe overvalued what he brings to the team and looked at the fact that he's such a world-class finisher, a world-class player, probably one of the best wingers that I've ever played in the Prem, right? Maybe we've overvalued what he's actually bringing to the team. Maybe we have. Maybe he should have just been focusing on the goals, but we should have focused on the team as the team, the structure, the function, and maybe that's more important because when you look at goals, we're not struggling for goals this season at all. We're not struggling for goals, but Salah's been asked to play a different role now, and I'm going to get into that. But that different role, it's not working out. It's not working out, people. Let me just get into some of the comments as well. Big up to everyone in the building. Lot of comments. I'm going to try flash through these. We got Kolonji, big up to Kolonji saying, big up Jerry, leave Salah alone. Has Klopp put him in a position to win? No. He's listening to Pep, who is to blame. Yeah, I mean, we're saying that, but at the end of the day, we're talking about a world-class player. It doesn't matter what position you play in for me. We've seen Gerrard play out on the right wing and get the most assists he ever got in the season, been the most productive. Played in the DM, played in the 6. He was always able to influence games. That argument doesn't stand with me. It doesn't. It doesn't. Big up to Jide, man. Jide saying, look, that AFCON broke him. Do you know what I mean? That AFCON for Africans as well is a massive, massive thing. Maybe that's what's happened. Maybe AFCON's broken him. Maybe it has been. We've got Stephen the Truth Seeker saying the jab broken. Yeah, those conspiracies there. It's crazy. We've got Captain Sal saying, look, it's time to let him go, in my opinion. Ricky LFC saying, Jerry, do more collabs. Best way to grow the channel. Big up, brother. No, big up, man. We do collabs all the time, but listen, we want to grow organically. We're not doing collabs with anyone. It's not about doing collabs. It's about, do you know what I mean, staying true to yourself, and we've done that. So, but big up to yourself. Ricky saying, obviously, no chance I'd sell Salah. The whole team is lost right now. When injuries clear up and signings, he will bang again. Yeah, that's an argument. Big up to Anfield Road. Eunice saying, look, I think we should have moved Salah to striker and bought a right winger rather than a left winger. Same thing we did with Mane, moving him to the 9. Maybe so, maybe so. What I would argue is, can Salah play the 9? Have you seen him play the 9 effectively ever at Liverpool? We've seen Mane play left wing, the 9 and the right wing to a T. We haven't seen that from Salah. Maybe right wing is the position he needs to be in. Maybe so, maybe so. We've got Liverpool 12 map saying, can you give pros and cons but also provide context to your analysis, because he's still a person, not some video game avatar that unless you're his sports psychologist, you're only speculating. Facts. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to go and provide context. That's why I'm saying, just wait. I'm going to give pros and cons, but I'm not speculating on who he is. I'm giving reasons to why. And obviously this is all speculation. I'm not in his mind. We're not to know, or we're not privy as to why his form has dipped. Form is very subjective. Do you know what I mean? Some managers will look at that and dash you for not being on form. Some managers will go and keep you, and you stick through it, and then you grind it out. It's very subjective when you're talking about that. We got Oscar saying it's definitely not the same Salah. I believe the reason for it is the same like for all our team. He doesn't want to play under Klopp and FSG anymore. I might be wrong, but that's my opinion, and that's what it is. Hey, everyone's got their opinion. We got James Doherty saying, I hope Doak, Nunes, and Jota or Gakpo can form a good front three or whatever. Yeah, maybe so. Cedric Lopez, big up to yourself if you're doing well. We got Jide obviously here saying, look, I agree, Salah's just not one of those players that can pull out goals from a shocking performance. Yeah. I mean, it's a weird one because he can have a shocking performance and score. But what I mean is, if we need him to be our talisman now, he hasn't shown us to be the talisman. And I think that's what's more vital. I think when we had a Gerrard, even a Suarez was our talisman. Like, give him the ball and just let him do something because we need something from him. We're giving the ball to Salah a lot now. If you look at the touches, he's getting a lot of touches. He's actually coming wider, coming deeper to get the ball and getting a lot of touches, but he's not being as effective. And I'm not talking about goals and assists. I'm talking about even just performances in the game. And I think that's why I wanted to kind of analyze it. Big up to Richo63, our Evertonian, saying we're going down into the championship. Nah, man. I'm not going to lie. I think Sean Dash has got it for you guys, but we'll see, man. Sam Max Legend saying, look, Mane was always the one who started the press. He made the work easier for Salah. Salah is lazy. I wouldn't say Salah is lazy. I just think they're different players, because I think, look, for Salah to look the way he is and be in that kind of physique, he's definitely not a lazy player. And to have the mentality to score the amount of goals, he's not a lazy player. And I know, like, I grew a lot of these players and stuff, but I'm trying to be as kind of level-headed as possible. But yeah, man. But look, Aaron's saying, where's G? Is he sick? No, I do it is. G and Romz, they're busy. That's what it is. G and Romz, they got busy. I know he's got his son to look after and stuff like that. So look, they'll be back. But I think I just wanted to have a chat with you guys as well without them. I think that's kind of important. I think for me, G and Romz to come and chat to you guys one-to-one, you get a different kind of dynamic. And look, we're talking about Mane, all right? And all of that. But. And this is what I'm talking about, the pros, right? Not the pros, but the caveats as to why his form might have dipped. The team's been shocking this season. Now, absolutely shocking. Like, forget the injuries. When they've been fit, Thiago for me has been poor. Yeah, the system now essentially has been poor. Trent, the assists have diminished completely. They've been absolutely shocking. We're looking at, obviously, Nunes just. He's had a decent season. Has he been effective? Yes. Is any on product? No. And that's the problem. We allow teams to get into the game. It doesn't matter how much chaos you cause. If you realize that the chaos is just a false flag, you start to ignore the chaos. You start to ignore it. Agbonlahol looked like he had chaos. But you know what I mean? He was running around, he had pace. But when you started to ignore that chaos, it just wasn't the same, man. And he's rubbish. So, look, I don't think Nunes is down that route, but we just don't know. But the team's been shocking. I think all across the pitch, I think form's been terrible. I think injuries attribute to that a lot. The fact that Diaz, Jota, players that Salah already has a kind of relationship with, they're not in the team. The link-up isn't the same. The understanding isn't the same. That's obviously going to influence and affect his influence on the game. What I would potentially argue, and this is just my opinion, is that someone that's being paid 350 grand a week, he needs to be able to go and do everything. And that's my kind of argument on it. Not to say whether Salah has ever been that type of player, but I need to see you do everything. Because when you look at the players that are on that kind of money, unless they're just told you're just going to score a goal like a Lewandowski, or where it's just like, yeah, you're doing that, like you're just staying in that position. The position he plays, and you need to have a bit more in your locker. And I think, I hope he's got the ability, but he's just not doing it at the moment, and I don't know why. Maybe he might not have the ability to the levels of a Neymar or Hazard, even, that can affect the game without kind of scoring goals. And that's kind of the trade-off that you have. But right now, we need to see more than just the goals and assists. And I think that's what's important, is that sometimes there is a trade-off. Do you want goals and assists, or do you want the performances? And sometimes you need those performances. Gerrard had those performances and wouldn't score or assist, but would win man of the match because of how we controlled the game. We've had Suarez have those games where he's gone and not scored, not assisted. He was still man of the match, done everything else. Defended, crossed, assist, passed before the assist, done everything. And that's what we need to see from Salah right now. I think if he does that from now to the end of the season, we're going to be talking about a player that's actually much more well-rounded. Like, I will anyway. I'll look at Salah and be like, you know what, you've actually developed in this season at an age where a lot of people would say, look, a leopard don't change its spots, and a tiger don't change its stripes. So, look, you never know. But the injuries as well, obviously, shocking. The disjointed forward line. We look at our forward line, and it's a problem, isn't it? It's a problem. Does Nunes, we bought him as a 9. He plays better on the wing. Gakpo, we bought him as a winger. He plays better in central areas, but he's not been that effective. He hasn't had the same impact that Diaz had when he first came in. Elliot plays well on the right wing, but then we're playing on the left. There's so many kind of tactical kind of nuances and mistakes and mishaps. I don't even want to talk about that man, Klopp, at the moment, because it's really starting to bother me. But tactically and technically, we've been really, really poor. Really poor, really poor. And what I would argue is maybe Salah, and this is a poor from the management, they haven't looked at Salah and looked at what he's actually good at. What are you good at? Getting the ball in the back of the net. What position do you do that from? From the centre of the pitch. Why are you playing out wide? Why are you playing out wide like Ousmane Dembele for Barcelona? Or like a Ryan Giggs? It just doesn't make any sense. All his goals have come from central areas. He hasn't scored a screamer from out wide. He hasn't done what a Kulusevski does for Tottenham. Yet we're still advocating for him to go and play this role. Now, I would argue we obviously need that type of player to come into the team. We haven't gone and bought that, but they're asking Salah to go and do that. Could Elliot potentially not do that? Could he not maybe play Salah up front? Salah on the left, maybe? Something different. No one thought Mane could play in the centre until we played in the centre. And no one thought Mane could play on the left wing until we played on the left wing, because he started off as a right wing at Liverpool. And someone of Salah's ability, I'm sure he will still be able to go and get numbers, the numbers he's getting now at least, from any position in the pitch, because he's not playing well at all. So that's what I don't get. I'm struggling to comprehend. I'm looking at here like this different role, and it just goes back to the management and stuff. Is what's going on at Liverpool affecting Salah as well? Is it affecting all the players? Top down, I'm talking about the potential ownerships. Are we struggling to are we struggling to get the message across to the players? Is Klopp unable to motivate the players? Obviously, motivation comes from oneself, 100%. But what is Klopp doing about that? What is Klopp doing about that? What can Klopp do to go and ease Salah's ability, because right now in this press conference, he's talking about, Salah's out of form when this happens. How are you alleviating that pressure if it is a fact of, the team's disjointed and you're playing a different role? Because then what that does, it opens the avenue for someone to argue and be like, look, Salah might not be that guy anymore. And when we look at it, and you look at the facts, since AFCON, it's been a year now, people. The AFCON was last year, January, right? It's been 365 days, and Salah hasn't been nowhere near the play he was the last few seasons. So look, it will be interesting. It will be interesting. I'm just going to get into some of the comments, because I know a lot of you guys have some sick opinions. So big up for everyone tuning in. Look, we've got 50 people in the building. Make sure we're smashing the likes. We got Cedric Lopez saying facts. Big up to yourself, love and always. Cash saying loved Mane, but he's getting the Paul Scholes syndrome. What do you mean by the Paul Scholes syndrome? Let me know. Let me know by that. Captain Sal, big up saying, for me, Mane was more important than Salah, but we let him go. So if we get a good offer for Salah, I have no problems in letting him go, as I believe he's on the decline. That's fair. For me, it is you need that there's players in the team that are part of the cog, right? And great example, Bobby was part of the cog. When you don't replace a player like for like, and we kind of did because we had Mane that came into form. But when Bobby went on form and we were playing, we started to struggle because he's a key component of the cog. What you've seen is that loads of teams can go and chop and change goal scorers, right? They chop and change goal scorers a lot. One player might get 30 goals this season, then he goes, and then they get 30 goals, and it is like that, right? But the cog is something that affects the team a lot. You look at Tottenham. Tottenham had a massive, like when they got rid of Moussa Dembele, right, from Tottenham, when the likes of Wanyama, Højbjerg, Alderweireld, Vertonghen started to decline, Lloris, you started to decline, started to drop off. It doesn't matter how many goals Kane gets, even though his all-round performance has been really good as well, like even this season. But it doesn't matter because the system is broken. And what we've seen is with City, even though they didn't have a prolific out-and-out goal scorer that scores you 30, 40 goals a season, like a Salah, they were still able to go and win leagues because the system was always the most important. And for someone like Klopp that relies on the system a lot and has created this system, to go and let that system break down and then not replace it adequately enough, it is criminal. It is criminal from FSG. It is, because it's now affecting the likes of a Salah and stuff. We've got Jide saying, exactly, those players that can create chances from nothing. Mane is one of those. It is. Aaron Tavares saying the team is done without the engine room. A car won't move. Facts, I agree. Scrap saying, does a different manager get more such the best out of Salah? That's an interesting point as well. Like in any job, if you're in a job for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, do you know what I mean? Listen to that same voice, the same opinions, the same task. You're not being asked to do a different role. It's the same role. You can get bored. You can get bored. And you can't begrudge anyone for getting bored, because it does become very routine and systematic. They're doing the same thing every single day for 4 or 5 years. It can get very, very tiresome. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe a refresh, some sort of chaos in the team does benefit the team in some way. I mean, we saw the impact that Diaz had on everyone in the team because it gave us a new lease of life. Mane moving to the centre, it's a completely different role to what he was doing 3-4 seasons before then. He has to think differently. It can invigorate you. We see it like within businesses. We see it within life, relationships. People go and tell you, spice it up. Do something different. Go on a different date. Go on holiday. Everyone knows when you go on holiday, you feel refreshed. You feel like, yes, I've got a new lease of life. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why Mane wanted to go and leave, because he wanted that lease of life. And he spoke about it, saying, look, that Bayern move is the best move he'd made for his career within himself. He was seeking psychologists to find out why he's not performing. We're seeing a similar thing with Salah. It might not be a Salah problem. Maybe it's the system. Maybe for Salah to be at his best, he needs a new manager. Maybe he needs a new change. He needs a change somewhere. Maybe I don't know. Big up to Marion Southwood. I hope you're well. Eunice saying Salah does the least amount of defending in the whole team. Yeah, I think that's by design though. I think that's by design. Quantum Geek saying, I have to disagree with we aren't struggling for goals. That Brighton game, we looked toothless. The Nottingham Forest game was the same story. That facts. Look, I think in individual games, I think we're struggling to go and create chances right now. But statistically speaking, we're not, I believe we're in like 5th in terms of like goals scored this season. So yeah, we're not at the levels that we were before, but that is not a pressing issue for me. That's not the biggest pressing issue anyway. 2 seconds. Need to just check some stuff. Cool. Yeah, a couple super chats before I miss them as well. Big up for everyone that's donating to the channel. We appreciate a lot, man. We appreciate a lot. Liverpool 12th man saying getting talisman back, Virgil van Dijk, Jota, and Bobby is pivotal. Yeah, on form though. We had, people forget, we started this season. Even last season, even though we were able to go and come back, we started this season with majority of our team fit, and we were poor. We've been absolutely poor. We go back to the back end of last season. How many times did we go down a goal? Wolves. We've done it on the last day of the season, people. Real Madrid. Like, we've been going down a goal and having to go and come back. That's not a great sign. So yes, we do need those back, but we need them back in form. If they're not back in form, it doesn't matter. You're better off playing the players that are on form at the moment. We've got Sam Max Legends, big up, saying this period was perfect opposition for Salah to stand up and show his worth. Sadly, I think, this period was a perfect opportunity for Salah to stand up and show his worth. Sadly, I think he failed. He could have driven the team and lead by example. Yeah, I think that's what the team needed from a player right now, is someone to lead by example. I don't know, man. I don't know. Can Salah do it? Let me know. Do you guys believe Salah can lead by example on a consistent basis? Can he do what Messi done for Argentina, for Liverpool? Can he inspire Liverpool to get us to the top 4? Because listen, if he does that, I'll take everything I'm saying back. All these kind of arguments, they go into the bin because you're proving us wrong. But we can only go based on what we're being provided. There we go. Anfield saying all about keeping the rule. Yeah, appreciate it, man. I appreciate it a lot. We've got M. Tarmizi saying big up, Jerry. Rule talk. Big up to yourself if you're well. Ravi Bakari saying Jerry riding solo like Jason Derulo. Big up, big up, big up. Anfield Road and saying a lot of the worldies in this team have maybe realized they're wasting their prime years in a team with unambitious owners and a facile weak manager. Maybe so, maybe so, maybe so. Ricky LFC saying, Jerry, I make collabs so people who don't know you guys get to know. Yeah, but you know what? I agree with that 100%. But do you know what I'm going to say to you? That's on you guys. Like, you guys are the ones that have grown this channel. It hasn't been us. Like, yes, we're providing the content and you guys are actually providing the content with us. Right now, it's you all of you guys might as well be on stream. I'm discussing with you guys. But when I'm talking about collabs and you want people to get to know, it's on you guys to get to know. It's on you guys to go to your friends and families and your mums, your dads, your aunties, your uncles and be like, look, check this brother out, man. He's chatting shit, but I rate him. Check him out. Something like that. Even if I'm chatting shit, if you think I'm chatting shit, I love it. I love it. The fact we've got rival fans obviously subscribing as well now is crazy. It's crazy. So big up. Ravi saying, not sure if Salah is burnt out or whatever, but he ain't been the same. Facts. Cash Hate saying there was many seasons where Gerrard could pull the magic. I assume you say couldn't pull the magic. Yeah, but Gerrard done it on a consistent basis. I don't think we can disagree with that. I don't think and a lot of these seasons he was injured. The season when he weren't injured, he was vital, he was pivotal. Let's not do that. Let's not do that in regards to Gerrard. Scrap saying don't forget Bobby. Yeah, it's true. Luke Stockwell, big up, says happy Friday, man. Happy Friday, man. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Jamrock saying big up, Jamrock. Hope you're doing well. What did you make of the talk John Rainey and Tom Werner have fallen out over the sale of the club? Oh, I don't know what to believe anymore, people. I swear to you. At this moment in time, it is what it is. Like, FSG aren't going anywhere. I'm quite resigned now to thinking, look, the January window's done. I'm not talking about us getting any signings. I'm not talking about signings in the summer because we're not there yet. We don't know who's going to be in charge. We don't know if the Bellingham rumours are true. It's not like we've snapped up the Jude Bellingham deal now and are saying, cool, we've got that in place now. Let's go and now build towards that and give us some momentum. We've done that with Minamino in the past. not Minamino, sorry. We've done it with Naby Keita in the past. We've done it with some certain players. I know with Fabio Carvalho, we were kind of engaging in the tribunal, but we knew this was kind of happening by March times, right? It might be the same thing with Bellingham. We're not in March yet, but it doesn't seem likely. This deal does seem like it will go on into the last stage of the window for me. So I don't know what to make of it. If that's the case and they've fallen out over a sell, I'd like to know why. I know a lot of people talk about, you know what, they would sell and there's reason for them to sell. I've got an argument. I don't think they want to sell. Reason being is because the whole Super League thing, obviously, that collapsed, right? But the idea hasn't collapsed. If you look at the way Todd Bowley's spending money, if you look at the way the Americans are spending money, the fact that the Glazers are looking to sell or get investment or whatever, for me, it's to go and make this league the strongest it can be in order for the Premier League to become a Super League. I personally believe so. And look, that's something I'll chop up at a later date. And I've spoken to some people with, and I've got data to back it up. I don't want to get bogged down into it because we ain't got a lot of time today. But yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Quantum Geek, big up saying, might be an unpopular opinion, but we should sell Salah while he still has status. We need players that can be performing 3 to 5 years from now. And facts, and one thing I'd want to ask people in the chat as well. The last time we sold one of our main players, right, in Coutinho, like main players, like we talk about talisman, he was one of our talisman at the time. Look how the club invested that money. Fabinho, Alisson, Van Dijk, right? Does the club need to make a similar type of sale in order to go and propel themselves back to the levels that they were, considering Klopp's worked within this model beforehand? Is that something to discuss? Is it maybe selling the likes of a Mane or selling a Virgil or selling an Alisson? I know this is mad. I'm not advocating for this, or selling a Trent to go and strengthen the team as a whole, because we've done that once. And at the time, we were fuming. I remember I was fuming. I couldn't believe we sold Coutinho. I couldn't believe it. Look back on it, I feel silly for saying that now. Is that maybe the direction the club need to go in? Maybe we need to sacrifice our left hand so it can grow back stronger. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's what we need to do. I'm not sure. I'm not sure now. I'm really not sure. Chris McAvoy saying Salah played down the middle for Roma and Salzburg for years. Yeah, he did. It was a different role though. He's going to have to be playing back to goal now. It's not going to be runs in behind. So that's what I would say in regards to that. Players need to step up as well. Jerry, to be fair, that's Sam Max Legend. Yeah, I agree. They do need to step up. They 100% need to step up. 100% need to step up. I think for them to not step up is shocking. We got Honesty saying, look, I would sell Salah for 75 million and get Sane or Diaby, and why not get Elise in too? Maybe so. Maybe so. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, maybe that's something that we need to obviously go and do. Cash 8 saying the Pulsko's being classed as one of the GOAT midfielders today, but was a level below Gerrard and Lampard when they were all playing. Yeah, maybe so. To be fair, there's a lot of players. I think Pirlo's in that bracket as well. Mashoud Ahmed, hope you're doing well. Quantum Geek saying we'd get 50 million for Salah at most. I don't think so personally. I think he signed that contract. I think what he gives the team in terms of the stature and the status he's got in the Middle East as well, I think he's going to be way, way more than that. I think easily 80 million, but who am I to say, man? Who am I to say? We got, hold on. Jamrock saying, what have I missed? Are we selling Salah or something? No, we're not selling Salah. I'm putting it out there. I'm not asking about selling Salah. I'm trying to discuss with you guys, why do we feel that Salah's form has dipped so dramatically, and why has it been like this for a year now? Even when we were, going for a quad since January. That's kind of the discussion that we're having. PRP55 saying things are getting stale without any changes to formation, personnel. Something needs to give. That's what it is. Something does need to give. But what gives? That's the problem, isn't it? I don't know what gives. Jamal saying, in regards to kind of selling our best assets, saying, look, Jamal, yes, saying yes, Jerry, but Klopp doesn't have Edwards anymore to get him the best players and replace what he has. He wanted to keep an old bench to keep old and bench players for too long that Edwards wanted to sell. Facts. You guys are just, I'm trying to find a reason as to why something's going on. I'm not sure. We've got Zeno saying, congrats on the 1K. Big up to Zeno, man. Big up to Zeno. Sam Max Legend saying, I'm still at work, finished at 6, but I've got to get a little bit of JJ and big up. Listen, we're going to be done in about 10 minutes anyway, because I need to go and sort myself out as well. I'm busy later on today, hence why I said, you know what, let me pop on and chop up with you guys on a Friday. Had some times. Liverpool 12th man saying, I'll give you that point. They do have to come back in form. That's facts. VVD could have been that too, and he hasn't yet. He could have been our talisman. He could have been the Carragher that we've had in so many years, and the Terry even. Do you know what I mean? But he just hasn't been able to go and do that, and I don't know why. And that's my problem. Is I don't know why. I rate these players so highly. I can't comprehend as to why they're playing the way they are. People, it's difficult, man. It's difficult. Danny Free edging me saying, look, I'm sorry, but 70 goals and 7 assists in half a season is clearly says that it's not Salah's problem. No, it isn't in terms of the stats. That's not what I'm saying. What we need Salah to do right now is he able to go and deliver that. So what I mean by that is, if Skirtle used to get 7-8 goals a season from centre-back, right? But Virgil's had seasons where he scored 2 goals. But his performances were crucial to how he went and played. And yes, he's a defender. And yes, I would still argue he's got to score way more set-piece goals. But when his performances were that imperious, they strengthened the team as a whole in a dynamic that you can't measure. And I think right now we need Salah to go and give us that. I'm pretty sure if Salah was key to us winning games but wasn't scoring half of the goals that he was scoring, but was a key component like the way Rashford is at the moment, and people like to do the comparison. Rashford having his best season, which is still nowhere on par with what Salah's doing, right? What Salah's ever done. But when you've got that kind of form and you're backing, of course, the team's doing well, you can propel your teams to different levels. And that's what I want from Salah right now. That's what I want from Salah. Herschel saying, Ayo, you and Hassan, you should do a stream. Yeah, we've done a stream with Hassan, man. We've done a stream with Hassan. But if you're saying one-on-one, yeah, I'll have to chat to Hassan. Big up to Hassan, man. Chris McAvoy saying the team looks like a middleweight boxers fighting heavyweights now. I honestly think 80% of the main players are done. Maybe so. And I mean, there's all this talk about the fitness coach, isn't it? What's his name? Andreas Kopayaran or whatever his name is. Am I right in saying that name? Let's go and see if I can find it. Staff. Let's see the coach and staff names. Sorry, Andreas Kornmeier. That's it, Andreas Kornmeier, people. There's all this talks about Andreas Kornmeier now having too much influence again. Like, how can Linders and now this Andreas guy be getting the brunt of something that the managers, like the CEO, is the chief of? Are we saying that? Are we really believing that Klopp is just this kind of, I don't know, naive person? If so, are you calling him dumb? Like, I don't get it. Is he being manipulated by FSG and Linders and now this Andreas guy? Like Klopp number 2? I don't know. I don't know. Chat to me, people. Chat to me. Jarrett saying, yeah, stop believing everything the media prints. No, I'm not believing everything the media prints at all. Explain to me why you believe why I'm believing everything that the media prints. I don't think I have. And then Jerry saying, wait, Jerry, was there not a ruling the other day about the Super League? Yeah, there was, but I'll chat about it another day. Anfield Road saying, I see all Reds have turned on Minister Reddy now too because of recent article/comments. Yeah, they will do. They will do, man. They will do. Cash Hate saying, look, all this talk that he's down tools and now he has money is ridiculous. He's our most available player. If all he cared about is money, then he'd fake an injury. He's out of form and should be on the bench. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't think he's necessarily down tools. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Jamal, interesting point, saying, look, does Salah have the tactical freedom to be that talisman because he's been hugging touchline most games and not been roaming freely? Interesting, isn't it? Interesting one. With a Salah, I don't believe... I struggle to believe they're telling him you have to just stay out wide and you've got to do your thing because of how influential and how important he is in terms of goals and assists. Because who gets that free roam then? Someone in the team has to get a free roam. Have we given it to Elliott now? Gakpo? I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe so. As I said, we're not in the dressing room, the change room. So I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a Klopp issue is that just Salah saying, you know what, I'm going to go and do this role because he's trying to kind of develop his game and he hasn't got the ability to kind of go past his man as frequently anymore because he's getting older. Scrap saying, JJ, Terry or Rio?
Ooh, centre back to centre back, yeah, man to man. Oh, Rio's gonna kill, bruv. He's from around the corner as well. He's gonna kill me. If I ever meet him, he's gonna kill me. But I'm gonna say Terry, man. I'm gonna say Terry. Like from a footballing perspective, like I don't want anyone saying, "No, this guy's done this, he's done that." Forget that. I'm talking just based on football. I think Terry was so good. So good. So good. But it's a debate. Like if someone said Rio, I wouldn't really disagree with them. I just think Terry was the number one. Like Terry could do everything. Like Rio could as well. I don't know. It's a difficult one, you know. It's a difficult one. I don't know. Anfield Road then saying, look, has that severe injury hit VVD mentally? Maybe so. Maybe so. 12th man saying, I've been stressing this point. Our team has to play better on the road. Our away form is 14th in the league, whereas our home form is 5th. Yeah, exactly. I believe we'll finish 3rd in the league at home, but that away form has to be top 5 at minimum. I agree. Keep it level saying, what's happening, Jesla? Big up. Hope you're doing well. Let's see some of them as well. Pure comments, man. Big up to everyone in the building. Quantum keeps saying, if Pep Linders and Klopp locked us into a deal for Gakpo last year and then said this January that they bought Gakpo to help the team defend by pressing from the front, then that makes Klopp a liar. It does. Maybe so. I don't know. Maybe they didn't lock it in, but maybe they just wanted to get it forward. I don't know. I really just don't understand that signing. I hope he does well, though. Keep it level saying, talk about him from last year as well. Yeah, I did. If you're talking about Salah, I did talk about him last year. Ridiculous. Chris McAvoy saying, it's crazy, mate. And now we are looking to buy Melwood that we only sold a few years ago and no lined up thinking. It's all reaction. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. There's no plan. There's just no plan. Anvaro saying, hence why I called Klopp a Fascio earlier, managed to show his authority. Remember how Julio used to shout at Phil Thompson back in the early 2000s? You know, I need to get a meme of that one, and it was funny, man. John Conway saying, big up Jerry, just subs to your channel. Big up to John Conway, man. Appreciate that a lot. Appreciate everyone that's subscribing. We got Sam Max saying he's ghosting JJ. We're practically playing with 9 outfield players. Harsh. In a way, he is. If he's made that decision, it is ghosting. And that's one thing that when you look at Mane, he never ghosted. He always wanted to get on the ball. Now, was that by design? Or I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Sam Max saying JJ looks like a young Rio. Funny. Mad because I play centre back as well. So used to play centre back them times as well. So when I played with him once in some game, some people saying that as well. But big up. Parrot saying, Jerry, mate, do you think FSG and top reds and brown envelopes are the problem at this club? I wouldn't even say top reds. I think it's fans in general. I think for there to be any movement in any direction, there has to be a clear kind of set viewpoint on, look, this is the goal, this is what we're doing, and everyone's moving in one direction. When the club's done that, things have worked. Look at the Super League. Look at Hicks and Gillette, sorry. Look at tragedies like Hillsborough. When the community comes together, you can make a massive difference. It's not going to come together because there's so many different viewpoints, but there's not a lot of information out there either. So a lot of it is hearsay. We don't know what's going on, what's going on. Did this happen? Did that happen? Is it Klopp? Is it Linders? Is it FSG? Is it John Henry? Is it Tom? Is it this or that? So when you have to go and pick a side and there's no real grey area, there's never going to be a general kind of a common ground to kind of just follow. So yeah, I think we're all the problem. Like I'm a wrong un, but you guys are wrong uns as well. Do you know what I mean? Someone like to call me the other day. Mashoud Ahmed saying, look, every year players get older. Salah has lost a yard, but he's still fast. But that yard lost will be more and more every year. What do we do when he's 30? He won't get faster. Facts. And when we're working with a system that relies so much on, I've spoken about, it's the minor details. It's getting to the ball first, nipping the ball in front of someone first, pressing that yard quicker, anticipating that 1%, 2% quicker than the opposition. That yard's going to have a massive impact. It is going to have a massive impact. You're not going to be the same type of player. Hence why I'm urging the club and urging Klopp, I'm urging Linders to tailor the tactics to the type of players we've got now, not to what you want them to do, because they can't do it at the moment. They can't. Rageport saying, look, Klopp said Diaz is running back in training. How is that even possible? Too early for me. Yeah, he might get injured. He might get injured. We never know, man. We never, ever, ever, ever know. Pirate saying, Jerry, mate, Romz is a brown envelope and top red. He contradicts himself because he buys the merch and kits. He's a fan, man. I wouldn't say he's definitely not a top red. I'm telling you now, but he has a love for the club, and I think he shows his love for the club through his merch, innit? Like, I show my love for the club through talking about Liverpool all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe, do you know what I mean? We've got different outlets, but it is where it is, man. Hold on. Yeah, there's some of the comments as well. Let's just look at how many likes we've got as well, man, before we head out. Yeah, guys, get some more questions before we head out, because, yeah, you might, like I said, if not, then we're going to have to bounce. But yeah, let me know, people, like, with the Salah situation, what will be the solution then? What do we do with Salah? How do we combat what's going on with Salah right now? Is it a change in position? Does a manager need to change? Do we need to change more players? But we've tried to do that and it hasn't really worked. Is it the backroom staff? Is it FSG need to go? I want to stay away from FSG needing to go, because ultimately, have we done everything that we can on the pitch in terms of tactics and stuff? I haven't seen that, which makes me lead towards the management and the manager and the players and the stuff that's going on the pitch and on the training ground. So, look, man, it'll be difficult. Big up to everyone. We've got 54 likes in the building. Can we get to 60 likes? Just for myself, it'll be interesting. Parrot saying, look, he's part of the problem. Then maybe so. But some people would say I'm part of the problem. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. Frank Wood saying sell Salah and get young talent. Maybe so. Some people do. Some people, that might be a good tactic to do. We've done that before and it's worked. Aaron Tavares saying Chelsea really put the pressure on teams. The future looks like it's theirs in the next 2 to 3 years. Facts. Chris McAvoy saying big up, Jerry. Have a good night. Appreciate a lot. Phil Bidwell, big up to yourself, saying, to be honest, I think Salah has lost a lot of his hunger since the AFCON and lost a massive wage increase. I may be wrong. Yeah, we all might be wrong. We never know, man. Max Mugo, big up to Max, saying, look, time we get a right winger who wants to fight for trophies. Salah has won everything here. If Mane went, who is Salah? Maybe so. Like, do you know what I mean? Maybe so. We just don't know. We don't know at all. Frank Wood saying, this has become my favorite show ahead of Kopish, not gonna lie. Big up, man. Listen, no, like, that's like massively appreciated. Like, big up, shout out to obviously Kopish and everyone. I know all you guys watch them. Yeah, to obviously be in that company is ridiculous. It's ridiculous for us, because we've honestly just wanted to have a voice for fans that just wanted to kind of have an open floor plan. The fact that you guys are here, I want all you guys that being honest and truthful. Like, no one here is like, you say something outlandish, I'm not going to be out here. We're not cancelling you. We're not doing any of that. This isn't the platform for this. It's for you to go out and vote, voice your opinions. Yeah, I might check you. We might have a conversation about it, but it's nothing going to be. Do you know what I mean? Even if I took it as disrespect, it's not going to be disrespectful. I'll put you back in check, and it's like that. We're like a family over here. So big up, man. Big up. Mashoud saying, look, if we sell Salah, solution is needed. Which player is ready, proven, is a must. But who? Elise, Almiron, Rafinha, or go with Elliott. But can Elliott play against the big teams, or will there be a drop-off? You don't know until he's given a chance. You don't know until you're given a chance. Pirate saying, G is another wrong and fueling the Klopp hate, and Klopp has delivered for your club. He's being an agenda merchant and feeds into the narratives. No, I disagree, man. I disagree. Because I was called a wrong un, but maybe we're both wrong uns, because we're not fueling the hate. I think we're making a point, and I think when you listen to the logic behind what G's saying, I think it makes a lot of sense. And for me, I can't have any slander on anyone that provides a logic to me as to why something should happen. Hence why having, obviously, this discussion and stuff. Maria South would say, oh, I'm 5 minutes from Melwood and none of the residents agreed with the sale of it. So it's up yours, FSG. Oh, my God. This is mad. It's crazy. It's crazy. But look, guys, I just wanted to say again, massive thank you for anyone that's obviously dropped a super chat as well. Massive thanks to everyone that's liking, that's subscribing to the channel. John Conway, that just subscribed as well, new subscriber, and let us know. Massive, massive thanks. Yeah, have a great weekend, people. We will be back with you tomorrow. Who will be there? I'm not sure, but it will definitely probably be me. And guess what? It might be a corner show. So you guys might get to go and have your say. But listen, you're only going to know if you make sure you're smashing that like button, clicking that notification bell, and you're subscribing to the channel. And obviously, everyone's links to their channels, their Twitters, Instagrams, Facebooks, whatever it might be, is all in the description. And don't hesitate to chat to us about anything. Is there anything that you want us to discuss more in depth? Let us know. And let me know in the comments as well. If you're watching this on the replay, what is the problem with Salah and how do we solve it? I think that's the most important thing. Is it a sell? Is it a formation change? Is it a tactical change? Is as easy as this, that we're just rubbish, and when we're good, we're going to be good as well. But what I'd flip and I've countered to that is world-class players are world-class regardless of the circumstance. And we saw that firsthand with Gerrard and Suarez at the team. So, look, I'm not sure. But big up to everyone in the building. Yeah, it's been the Jerry James Show. And we're out, people. Take care.